Welcome to another episode of Positive Solutions for Life. This is Peggy Meyer. Today's guest is Barbara Grassey. Barbara Grassey is a writer, book coach who moved from the US to Portugal solo in January of 2021 in the middle of COVID lockdowns, same thing, I
Or
think,
breakdowns.
or breakdowns. We all broke down at that time. But her Substack, My Expat Golden Girl Life, explores her journey as an expat from the logistics of moving to slices of everyday life. She's the author of American Expat, Moving Abroad Solo After 60. So welcome to the podcast, Barbara.
Oh, thank you so much. It's going to be so much fun talking to you because you're just like upbeat and alive and ready to kick
I
it.
am ready to go this morning. We're recording this in the morning. And so, I'm just so excited for our conversation because I'm intrigued. I don't know, like how many of us would, just pick up our lives and move to a foreign country
You'd be
by ourselves.
surprised.
You know? So before we jump into our conversation too far, can you just start by sharing just a little bit more about you, your journey, and how it has led to where you are today? But you know what? Just go in and whatever you want to tell me.
Sure. Okay. So from the time I was really young, I was taking off. My poor mother, you know those little halters you put on little kids and you got them on the leash?
Oh yeah, I tried
You
that
had to
like
get that
one
for
time,
me.
and my daughter and that didn't work too well.
Oh yeah, I was from the time I could walk, I was taking off and they would keep catching me, which really annoyed me. I can remember just being so annoyed as a 3-year-old going, I was going somewhere. Thank you. I got to know the police really well because it was a small town and they would pick me up usually, blocks and blocks away from my house. And then they'd call my mother and they go, hey, where's Barbara? Because my uncle was the desk sergeant. He goes, so how's Barbara Jean doing? And she go, oh, fine. What's she doing? Oh, she's playing in the back. No, she's here at the police station. So yeah, they're always dragging me back. But I read Robert Louis Stevenson's Kidnapped when I was like, I don't know, 8, 10 years old. And I just thought, oh, I want to live in Scotland. Like, men in kilts, hike in the Highlands. Like, it's just going to be beautiful. And then in 2001, my mother and I went to Scotland and it was freaking cold.
Just like it is for me today here in Nebraska.
Exactly. I forgot my coat because I was living in Florida. And so, I go out the door to get the shuttle to the airport, totally forgetting that I might need it was sitting right there by the door. I get to Ireland and then Scotland, and it was like so freaking cold. I nearly died. So I decided no on Scotland. Though I have visited since I've been here. But I had always wanted to live in Europe. I mean, from the time I was 10, and it wasn't, I want to just visit Europe. I want to go live in Europe. So, so I ended up doing that, which was kind of fun. But before I did that, we were just talking about the blizzard of 78, which people in New England they're still talking about it 50 years later. That's how big a storm it was. So I
Yeah.
went from Massachusetts down to Georgia, where my sister said it never snowed. And when I got off the plane, it was snowing. I said, Joni, it's snowing. You said it wasn't going to snow. And she goes, I know, I lied. I was lonely. I was like, okay. So I did a few years there. I went to Florida, went back to Georgia, went out to California, went to Hawaii, which was gorgeous and warm, and it was never bad weather. And then I went back to Florida. So I just spent the last 30 years in Florida. And I've been working as a book coach and a ghostwriter. And I didn't really realize what I was doing, but I was setting myself up to work from anywhere. And that really came in handy when I decided to move to Europe. So
Yeah.
yeah, so there are certain things that you do in your life that you don't know you're building towards something, but you are.
Mhm.
So sometimes people are like, oh, I haven't done anything. It's like, yeah, but you're building. You just don't see it yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's an interesting point because, we don't know exactly where we're going to end up in life.
Yeah,
We have twists
exactly.
and turns and things happen for a reason
Yes.
and they get stacked and your experiences get stacked and you're learning and growing, all moves you towards something. We just don't know what it is in the moment. I mean, I don't think any of us could well, maybe, I don't know. You at 10 wanted to live in Europe. So, some of us, we don't really find out exactly or like, hey, I really, really, really want to do this. And I'm going
Yes.
to do that when I'm older. When most of us were like, oh, I want to be this, I want to do this. And, things change. We
Things change all the
actually
time.
may have a better life than what we thought we were going to have.
Things change on a dime. You meet somebody, you volunteer to do something, and all of a sudden everything has changed again. And I always tell people, like, when their life has kind of gone to junk, see, I'm trying not to say bad words,
Yeah.
but we know what I
Yeah.
meant. So when your life goes that way, and you're like, oh God, this is horrible. It's like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen when you turn the corner and you run into, George Clooney or something. So, which, I
Yeah.
have not yet, but it could happen.
Yeah. Exactly. Because we don't know what our life is going to be like. But, so what prompted you? I mean, I know you said it was back when you were 10, you had this, really desire to live in Europe. But
Uh-huh.
what was the moment when you said, I'm doing this now?
That's fairly easy because people have things that they want to do. They've got bucket lists, and it's always,
Mhm.
I'm going to do this someday, someday,
Yeah.
someday.
Yeah.
And it's really two things. My oldest brother died, and he died at like 62, 63.
Mhm.
So that's fairly young.
Yeah.
And we used to like mock him. He's used to it. We always mock him. Like, your big brother, you're gonna make fun of him. But he
Right.
always sat on one end of the couch. There could be the most incredible party going on around him. He's on that end of the couch, right? He's just sitting there on the couch. And sometimes he's watching John Wayne, sometimes it's Star Trek, but he's got his spot on the couch. And I realized that I was sitting on that same end of my couch. Ooh, and I've been making fun of
Ooh.
him. That's cold.
Oh.
So, so that was my first wake up call, and that was probably about 2017. But then when COVID hit and people were passing away, and we didn't know what was the cause, we didn't know how it was spread, there was no vaccine. All of a sudden, it was like you could die and you never went and lived in Europe.
Mm.
No, this is not going to happen to me. Like, I was just like, no. So
Yeah.
that was really it. Early on, March of 2020, my cousin's uncle, so her father's brother, he lived sort of near me, and
Mhm.
she said, Jesus, can you go get Russ? He's sick, and they don't know what's wrong, and he just got out of the hospital. He's disoriented. Could you just pick him up and take him back to the ER? And so I'm like throwing on my clothes to go pick up Uncle Russ. And then she calls back. She goes, oh, his neighbors took him, or they called the ambulance. I'm like, okay, good. And it turns out he had COVID, and he
Mm.
passed away like within 10 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that really kind of rocked me because when I was about to get in a car with Uncle Russ, we
Right, right, right.
didn't even have masks then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just that, I mean, that was pretty stark. People were dying, and you have certain things you want to do while you're here on this planet.
Mhm.
And I was not going to die without hitting Europe. I was just like,
Yes.
yeah,
Well, that brings out like we have a deep why. There's some things sometimes there's like little voices in our head, that gut feeling, that intuition, or those little things that just don't go away that we like,
right.
oh, I need to do this or I need to call this person. It doesn't have to be that big to draw to like move to Europe, but we have those things that we're just putting
Yeah,
off.
right.
It's like it's
Exactly.
it's that little voice and it doesn't go away.
No.
But how do you like then it's like, okay, finally, I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna do it. Like
It
I'm
gets
not
louder
ready.
sometimes.
Well, sometimes it whispers. I feel like the whisper, the yell, and then the two by four just smacks you across the
Yeah,
head.
it was a two
Like,
by
yes,
four for me.
yes. Like, okay, I'm not getting any younger. Okay, this person that my brother passed away when he said, I'm like, I'm not getting any younger,
Yeah.
and you see that, and it's just like, wow, okay.
You know what? I hit 62 that year, and that I could take early Social Security. And my thought was, collect that money because you could die. You worked hard for that. So I took early Social Security. And that's really what enabled me to have the passive income to apply for residency. So that's one of the things that you need to think about when you
Mm.
get overseas or get to wherever you want to go is how are you going to live? Do you have enough money to live? Do you have investments? Do you need to still work?
Yeah,
And so for me, that passive income from Social Security, which isn't a whole lot, but it's enough to qualify me to live here. So that was
wow.
that was huge. So yeah, happy birthday that year.
Yes, no kidding. Well, I mean, and those things happen. They stack up, and it's all of
They
a sudden
stack up.
yes, that also, and then it just hits you. It's just like, oh, wait a minute. Like my brother passed away at 62. Like I'm 62. Like I'm not getting any younger. Let's go. Let's do
Let's
this.
do, let's do this. Yeah.
But like that had got to been like a little bit out of your comfort zone, maybe? I mean, to me, it would be outside my comfort zone. That would be
It
like, I
was
could
a
totally do it, but
lot.
it was like, I'd be like, oh my God, what am I doing? I
It
might
was
start
so
listening to
far
people
out.
say that I'm crazy, that like, I
Yeah.
can just imagine, like, what do people think? But
They were really like the better friends were like, wow, that's kind of big. Like they weren't gonna yuck my yum, right? But they were
right.
like, that's a really big jump. And it surprised me. Like a lot of my friends travel. I used to work on cruise ships back, 30 years ago. So people who work on cruise ships travel a lot, not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because they're on a cruise ship, but because they have the off time to travel and they get perks or they meet people.
yeah,
So they travel a lot. So a lot of my friends travel. And it wasn't unusual for them to say, oh, I'm going to spend 2 weeks in Scotland. But to say I'm going to move to Europe was a big jump for them. Um,
yeah.
so most of my friends were really, really good about not being negative, but you could tell they were all going, whew, they're a little crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know for a big you, but like when that happens, we have to remember that person is reflecting and like promoting like what they're thinking and feeling.
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
would be something totally crazy for me, right? And
Right.
it's really hard not to like push that on somebody.
Yeah. And then, I had other friends that were like, yeah, okay, let's see how well you do because I've been thinking about this too. So that's kind of fun. It's in a way, I know that I've kind of pushed people to
Yeah.
actually take the step, which is great.
Yeah, outside did you have anybody that said, "Okay, great. Tell me when you're there. I'm going to come see you." Like
Yeah, everybody.
after they're like, "I think she's crazy." But maybe that then I can go see Portugal, right?
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. And it's really nice when people come to visit because you do miss your friends. I mean, that's probably one of the hardest things.
Mhm.
But it's so funny because they're like, "Oh, what's a good place to go see around here?" I'm like, I go to the grocery store. Like, there's a really big Pingo Dos grocery store, and now they have prepped foods. And they're like, okay, we will look at the photo guide. Thank you.
I mean, I think that's true for about anybody, right? Like you can
Yeah.
have your hometown if you're not like the biggest tourist person around. I mean, we kind of just live. And
That's the thing is everybody's like, oh, have you been here? Have you been here? Have you been here? It's like, no, I work. And so, yeah, I live in a really beautiful spot and it's very happiness making. And because I'm 5 hours ahead of the US East Coast, I have like all morning to get my stuff together because I
yeah.
am not a morning person. But and what's nice is for anybody who's ever gone into the office on a Saturday because they're uninterrupted, they get their work done.
Mhm.
That's what my mornings are like. It's like going to the office on a Saturday every day. So
Ugh,
it's really nice.
yeah.
But I don't do a lot of tourism. I'd like to do more
Mhm.
because I don't have a car. I do have a scooter, like it looks like a little Vespa.
Yeah.
You haven't lived here, you've seen a 67-year-old woman on a scooter.
Transportation.
It's really fun. I have to be careful because I wiped out more than once. And so sometimes when it's sunny out and the air is nice and I start going swoop to swoop to swoop.
Yeah.
And then we've got roundabouts. I'm like, ooh, roundabout.
Oh, whoops.
Right? You have to like sometimes I start getting all swoopy and I'm like, pay attention, Barbara. This is not a safe vehicle for you. You are old and your bones will break.
Back to reality, right?
Back to reality. But yeah, it's nice. And I mean, I have been able to go. My first year, a friend came over and we went to Italy.
Mhm.
And then we spent some time up in Lisbon and Porto. And because I'm way down in the south, I'm in the Algarve. And
Okay.
then I went up to Scotland for a long weekend because I could. I go over, you can have lunch in Spain, which is really cool. It's like, you want to go to Spain for lunch? Okay. And I'm
That's
heading up
so
to
weird.
Ireland
I
in
mean, it
March. So
does. I mean,
yeah.
the countries are so close, you know?
I'm a half an hour from the Spanish border. So we go to, there's a really good grocery store there. It's huge. It's called Mercadona. And if you say Mercadona to anybody living in Portugal, they're like, oh, Mercadona. We get very excited. But we go over, the gas is cheaper there. The groceries are a little bit cheaper there. But the Mercadona store has, okay, weird thing, hard to find romaine lettuce here.
Oh,
I'm not a really big salad eater, but I like romaine lettuce. And so somebody says, I'm going to Mercadona. It's like, can you bring back lettuce? Yeah, sure. That's our excitement.
Hey, you know what? We all have that, but you know what? It's not all. We sometimes think that, oh, I'm going to go over here. It's going to be this glamorous thing. Like I think some of your friends, is like, oh, I'm just going to be a tourist.
Yeah,
No, you're not.
no,
You're working. You're just
you're
kind of
working.
blending into the rest of the world there. I mean, not
Yeah.
everybody over there that lives there is all tourists. You know.
No, and what was really funny was I thought, oh boy, I'm moving to Europe. I'm going to have to dress better, which is really difficult for me. And honestly, I live in a fishing village, so flannel shirts, flip-flops, t-shirts. I love the guys because they'll wear like an orange plaid shirt with green shorts, and like it's like this is not Milan. I am so glad. Now Milan, you should be dressed, but fishing villages, I fit right in here.
Comfortable. It's comfortable.
It's kind of, well, it's a working town, and
Yeah.
these guys go out like from about anywhere from 8 at night to 8 in the morning, and they're out
Mm-hmm.
there in the cold and the wet, and we're the octopus capital of the world. Um,
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah, so they're out there pulling traps, and it's cold, it's cold work, and they're
Yeah.
working guys. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. Cool. So, people are like, oh gosh, that's 62 or, whatever.
yeah,
We're not that old at that point.
no,
I mean, I'm 10 years younger than you, but
yeah, you're a
what
baby.
do you, yeah, I know. I mean, I feel like I have half my life left,
You
so
do.
I do, I know I want to live past 100. But how do what do you tell people that is like, we're not that old, so we're still
I
young,
know.
like continue to grow, learn, chase those dreams, you can still have time.
Oh, you have a bunch of time. And I'm sorry, what if you only had 5 years? Wouldn't you like to spend it someplace where you've never been and learn and do that sort of thing? One of the things people say, maybe I'm too old to move here. And it's not a matter of how old you are, it's a matter of your health. Are
Mm-hmm.
you up for moving here? Are you healthy enough? And it's not that we don't have doctors, we've got a great health system, but I know that people with chronic illnesses, people that are dealing with various diseases, have their set of doctors where they are and they don't want to leave them.
Yeah.
The other thing is how mobile are you? Can you get out and walk? Can you get out and do things? And that's more important than the years, the number on the calendar. So I moved here at 62. I'm 68 almost. I'm going on
Yeah.
68 right now. And I'm very aware of the fact that I'm here, I'm alone. Um, and so I have to take care of myself, which is why I almost exercise every day. So, but I get out and walk, and I want to keep my mobility up. I want to be healthy. That does not reflect in my eating habits. I'm sorry.
Hey, we're not perfect, right? We just got to stay mobile. We got to stay upright. We got to,
Yeah,
have a
flexible.
good positive energy and
Yeah.
flexible because,
Mindset is so important.
yeah,
It's like if it's that thing, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
yeah, yeah.
And I see people that I think to myself, oh, maybe they shouldn't try this. And they come here and they're fine, they thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a matter of their mindset. I've got a couple that moved here and they brought her mom, and her mom is actually German, so it's no big deal to her to live in Europe.
Yeah.
But she's in her 80s and she's got like this walker thing, but man, she is fast. She's going down the street. I'm like, man, Walt is booking, man.
Yeah. Like, well, sometimes, new things bring
Mhm.
a new energy to us.
They do. Yeah. And that's, I think, part of, people will say, oh, I've got ADD or ADHD. So you're always looking for that new thing.
Yeah.
And when you move to a new place, everything's new.
Yes. Yes.
This will help.
Exactly.
If you have ADHD, you're going to have lots of stuff to look at.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we are our own limiting factor. Like you
Oh,
said,
absolutely.
if I don't think we can, well, you're going to prove yourself right. You know.
Well, yeah. And to me, my go-to has always been whenever a problem or situation presents itself, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, okay, okay. Then it depends on the number of okays is how bad the situation is,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Right. Right. Right.
okay. But I think in my mind, and maybe I have some weird ego problem. Well, I probably do. But I think that I can figure it out. Like I think everything is figure outable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's a situation, I'll figure it out. And
Mhm.
moving here, there were a lot of I better figure this out moments like the entire
Yeah.
first year.
Yeah.
The
Well, you better
entire first
totally
year
be
was like,
prepared.
oh, It was scary. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anybody. The grocery store, and it was COVID, so everybody was masked, and there was that extra tension. Do you remember going to stores during COVID with your mask, and they only let a certain amount of people in? And it was
Mhm.
scary because you weren't sure if you were going to get COVID. You weren't sure, if somebody coughed behind you.
Yes,
Somebody
I
coughs
know.
and everybody goes, not COVID.
We all
Right?
like freak out, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would go to these stores where I couldn't even read the labels. And I'm stressed already because I'm in an enclosed environment with people wearing masks and you're not sure who's sick and who's not. And all you want to do is get your stuff and get out.
Hmm.
But you're looking at labels and you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
You just don't know what I mean, I got really good at Lay's potato chips. And I ate a lot of ham and cheese sandwiches whenever I was got there. But and eventually you start remembering where things are located in the grocery store. You
Mhm.
start recognizing the labels, you start recognizing the people. And
Hmm.
little by little, it's not so strange and it's not so overwhelming.
Right.
So it's figure outable, but there's also the more you do, the more familiar you get. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
know that with that mindset of just like, I can figure it out,
Yeah.
and that nothing is like too bad that I can figure it out one thing at a time.
It's
And,
not dead
you
yet.
just kind of stacked a whole bunch of stuff, not only foreign country, don't know the language, don't know anybody. You just happened to do that during COVID. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to put
It
some
was
extra stress
so
on myself,
cold.
right? Like,
I
looking
got
back to that, I mean, you like, wow, like, how did I do that? I mean, is there any moments
yeah.
when like, oh my gosh,
It's yeah, I did I wrote a book. I'll do
yay,
that. I'll do that thing.
yes, yes,
I got
yay,
hey.
yes, yes, I see that.
Yeah, so I started blogging about moving to Portugal because all my friends were asking the same questions and I got tired of answering. So I said, yeah, I just wrote a blog post about that. So on my business website, people were going to my business website to read my Portugal stuff, and which was great, but it kind of ticked me off because like, I've been running that business for 15 years and now you all are interested.
Right, yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Interesting
So
topic.
right. Yeah, like all of a sudden I'm interesting. So I moved the expat stuff over to Substack because it was skewing my numbers,
Mhm,
honestly. It's
mhm.
like, oh, look how popular I am. No, no, they want the Portugal stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I was blogging like my experiences as I went.
Hmm.
And I think about a year and a half ago, I went, oh, hey, I've got a book. So, and which is my business. I'm a book coach.
Right,
So
right, right,
I
right.
said, maybe you should put that
Yeah,
out.
maybe. I mean,
Yeah. So that's basically this is like the decision to go and applying for the visa, all the
wow.
prep stuff I did, and then it really is my day to day, not day to day, but it's my take at the moment of what's
Hmm.
going on. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll read like a chapter and go, oh God, I'd forgotten about that. Of course, I'm 68 almost, so I forget a lot. So, so this is really good to jog my memory too.
Yeah, that's good.
Like,
Well,
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I did
I
that.
think that brings out an importance of something. If we really want to do something, sometimes we need to write it down, or just, if we're going
Bucket
through something
list.
hard, we need to like journal about it, because
Yes.
there's so much good stuff that our brain processes and our feelings, and we can look back and going, oh my gosh, how did I do that? Well,
Here
you
it
have a
is.
record, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I have a folder of bucket lists, and I think several, like at least one's from 1999. And every single bucket list, no matter when I wrote it out, said live in Europe, right?
There's your sign,
So
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So you've got your bucket list, but if you don't keep your goals in front of you,
Hmm.
they just tend to kind of wash away. It's like you write something in the sand and it washes away.
Right,
So
right.
having that in front of you, I've got to write 5 fiction books this year. I'm probably not going to make it, but I have a sign up. I made a
Yep,
little flyer that
yep.
said, a total of 10 books by the end of December 2026, and I have 4 already. So yay! But because it's in front of me all the time,
Mhm.
it helps keep me focused. It's like,
Yeah.
what have you done today to move yourself forward towards this goal?
Right,
So,
right,
yeah,
right.
and sometimes you feel like you're not making progress in whatever. But again, we're going to go back to that stacking, right?
Yep.
It's you start doing things, and sometimes it's subconscious. You don't even know you're doing it, but you're readying yourself for that thing you want to do. And
Yeah.
that's when you look back and you realize what you've done, you're like, whoa, I'm a lot smarter than I thought I was.
Thing. I mean, I kind of do that with like, well, we've all had like people that in our lives that have had kids or,
Right.
family members or whatever, and you see them 1 year. And then
Uh-huh.
maybe you don't see them for a really long time, but in your brain, you still remember them as,
Tiny.
they're two,
Yeah.
or they're little. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden you see them and like, who's this?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, who
like,
is this gawky
where am
teenager?
I? Like, they got bigger. They got started like doing them. Like, oh my gosh, you're 8 already? Who's this?
Yeah. We
I mean,
knew you were going to get bigger, but we didn't really expect it.
I mean, the same for us. We're growing all the time if we're
All
putting
the time.
ourselves forward and taking steps. But like you said, we can get there a lot faster if we have our what we want in front of
Right.
us every day.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you're focusing on that, you do certain things. And it's I used to hate because there's like, what's your why? What's your why? I'm like, my why is I need to make money, right? This is real simple why, the rent's
Yeah.
due.
Like, yeah, that drives
Yeah.
me right now. Right?
But when you're doing something big, you need a big why to
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what they kept telling me. It's like, oh, you need a big why. I'm like, I don't need a big why. I'm just doing my stuff. Like I see stuff that needs to be done and I do it. But
Mhm.
then when you're working on something really big, you need a why.
Yeah, and the why sometimes I feel like comes from deeper within us instead of like
Yeah.
up here on like, oh, I need to make money or whatever. There is
Yeah.
something else like deeper inside us that drives that why.
Yeah.
And we have to
It's
figure it out.
yeah, and I don't know what got into my head as a child that said I'm going to live in Europe, but something sure did. So
Well, reading that book when you were 8 or whatever about Scotland, kind of
yeah.
started it. But then, over the years, you probably like, let's go over here.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Three Musketeers. I mean, you're reading all the British.
Right.
I read a lot of British cozy mysteries, and it's like, oh, I need an aunt to leave me a cute cottage in the country with a beautiful garden. That's all I want.
Yeah, sometimes you might have those people, but sometimes you might have to create that on your own if that's what you want,
I
right?
had to do that. Yes.
And yeah, you know what? You're living in Europe. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
With the
Where
water
can
view.
people find out more about your book, about you,
Oh,
your blog, and also anybody that's interested in writing a book because, you have some experience in that and in
oh,
those
a lot of
steps.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been helping people write books for about 20 years. And I specialize in business books and memoirs now because
Hmm.
people kept wanting memoirs. I'm like, okay. So I did a course on memoirs and I have two Substacks. The first one is the Expat Golden Girl. It's my Expat Golden Girl life, which I think is really pretty keyword stuffed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We all know
Yeah.
keywords.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the memoir is just write a memoir, which was a really good, it was like, oh, that works. So
Yeah.
the best place to find me is on Substack, and that's where you'll find all the Portugal stuff. And there's links to my book. And I'm pretty good about putting stuff up on Substack 3 times a week.
Okay.
Some weeks I'm a little light.
Okay.
It
Okay. Life gets busy, we
does.
know that. We all know that, but you're consistent. You're consistent with
I
it.
am
So
very
I'll
consistent.
put those links in the show notes
Thank
so
you.
people can easily find that.
Yes.
It's great. It's great. So as we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to tell the listeners that maybe you want to hear, quote, anything?
Well, I think you need to remember that life is short. It's
Mhm.
tragically short because
Yes.
honestly, you're like 50 before you figure out what you want to do and what you want to be. And like,
Wait a
because
minute. Some of us are past that and still trying to figure it out. Like,
I mean, I don't know how many of my friends have said, geez, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And they're like in their 50s and 60s and 70s. So and that's okay. But you don't understand the ground rules really of how life works. You think that life works a certain way. And then as you get older, you're like, oh no, that's a whole different thing that I was believing that wasn't true.
mhm,
So, you know, we're only here for a short time on this planet.
mhm.
And to me, if there's something you want to do, if there's something that you want to accomplish before you have to leave this planet, you need to go after that. And I understand that people have things. If you have kids that
Mhm.
are, need a parent while they're growing up, you stay with those kids. That was like, you don't get to just run off and abandon the kids. But
No.
while you're raising those kids, you can work your way towards that thing
Hmm.
that you want. So you
Yeah.
can, if you want to move to a different country, you can learn the language and you can have the cultural meals with the kids. If
Right.
right, if you want to be a writer for a living, but you have to work a job and pay the bills and pay the mortgage, you can write at night or early in the mornings or on a weekend or grab an hour and start working on your portfolio of books and articles. You can do that in addition to, and it's not either or. People say, do you want this or do you want this? Those memes on Facebook, it's like three kinds of ice cream and one has to go. I'm like, no,
No,
you can have
no,
all
it's ice
three.
cream. Like,
No, it's not either or, it's both. And
right.
right, in my world, it's like, yes, I understand we have responsibilities, but we can also choose to work towards that thing we want. And it really is a matter of choice.
Hmm. It
You
is.
might not go as quickly as you want to go,
Hmm.
but you can put the pieces of your dream life into your life now,
Yeah.
and then build it out from there. It goes back to the whole stacking thing, right?
Right. Right.
You're stacking experiences, you're stacking skills, you're stacking
Mhm.
all sorts of things that will build you to that life you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because sometimes we think we want something, and as we are moving towards it, it
Right?
changes.
It changes. Yeah, because I thought I wanted to live in Scotland and it was
Yeah.
cold.
Well, there's more countries over there in Europe. Maybe
There's a
I'll try
lot.
something a little bit warmer, and that's what happens. But we won't know unless we start taking action towards it. And
Exactly.
we have we live here a short amount of time, but
Yes.
yet we have more time than we think we do. You know,
Yeah.
how do you, it's your choice how you spend your time. So if you really want something, you'll find a way to make it happen in other parts of your day, even if you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever,
Exactly.
you'll find the time. It's
Yeah.
motivating to you. And guess what? It's fun too to
It's
move
fun. Yeah.
towards your
Because
dream.
I mean, on days I was talking to a friend and she's working on some marketing for her husband's book. And she says, oh God, doing this content is so tedious. And I said, when you look at it, most of our lives are it's pretty tedious. You get up, you've got to make breakfast, you got to do the dishes, you got to do the laundry, you got to get the kids out. Most of our lives are tedious. And she
Yeah.
said, you can be a motivational coach.
Well, you know what? Sometimes we're just like reflecting the facts here, right? I mean,
And most of our lives are tedious.
yeah,
So if you've got something that you're working on that you want to do and it's a dream and it's a dream that's getting closer, that gets you through the tedium. That's what helps you put one foot in front of the other. It helps you get out of bed every morning. It's,
yes,
yeah, okay, my life is really boring right now, but I'm working towards this thing. And
yes,
that's going to be great.
yes.
That's it. I mean, everybody, I'm sure, you know, people that we think have these glamorous lives have very tedious lives in certain aspects of them.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yet, yeah. And
yeah.
yet it all gets done and you can keep working towards what you want.
Right, right, exactly. Life is short. We got to put our goals and dreams right in front of us so that we are reminded every day to take a small step forward towards that, which is going to help make your tedious, mundane routine day a little more exciting because you're
Mhm.
moving forward towards what you really want to do. So,
Exactly. Well
well, thank you
done.
so much for joining me today, Barbara. This has been such a great conversation.
This has been
Um,
so fun.
it has been so fun. And anybody out there, please go check out Barbara's Substack. I'll put the link to it in the show notes and just start dreaming. Start dreaming about really what you want to do in the next part of your life and start taking action.
Yes. Okay.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Peggy.
Yeah, thank you.